Hey guys, Pastor Keith here from Oakdale Baptist Church in Nokesville, Virginia, with this week's 3-minute sermon. Now we're taking a little break from our series called Postcards from James, and just for the month of December, we're talking about a series called Wishlist. And we're asking the question, is blank on your wish list? Each week will be a new topic in which we'll re-look at the Christmas story and decide whether that is on our wish list or not. Now, we're all familiar with wish lists, and if you're not already aware, the Christmas season has begun. The streets are busier, the stores are busier, and everyone is out there trying to fulfill wish lists. And, growing up, you probably remember at some point making a wish list, especially around Christmas, writing down the things that you wanted and the things that you hoped for. And, our culture kind of teaches us and ingrains this into us that we want things. And so we make these wish lists, and then we get those things on our wish list, maybe not. But what happens when we do get those things on our wish list? We want something else. That's what happens. We're trained to want something more. And so we want to take a look at wish lists and maybe put something a little more valuable on our wish list this Christmas season. So this first Sunday in December, we asked, is hope on your wish list? And we looked at the story of Zechariah and Elizabeth and the parents of John the Baptist. And in Luke chapter 1, you can find this story. And Zechariah was a priest, and his wife Elizabeth, and they had no children, and they were past the years of childbearing. They were getting older, and it was kind of a ship that had sailed, and they kind of knew that, and they began to lose hope in that. Now, Zechariah had a very important job, and that was being a priest, and they drew and cast lots, and he drew the short straw and was the one who had to enter into the temple during the hour of incense and burn the incense and pray on behalf of all of the Israelites. And this was a very dangerous job, because if something was done incorrectly, or if there was sin in your life or other sins that were present, people often died doing this job. They were struck dead as they entered this perfect holy place of the temple. And so everyone else would stay outside, and they would pray for that person who was going in order to pray on behalf of all of the people. And so Zechariah was the one who had to go in and do this dangerous job. And so he entered in, and what did he see? He saw an angel standing right beside the altar, and he thought for sure that he was about to face death, that this was the end. But the angel said something that is very important. And the angel said, "Do not be afraid." Now, that's something very common in these Christmas stories. If you look at it, when the angel visits Mary, it says, "Do not be afraid." And when the angel visits Joseph, it says, "Do not be afraid." And when the angels visit the shepherds, what do they say? "Do not be afraid, because good things are about to happen." They're bringing good news. And so this angel says, "I'm bringing you good news, Zechariah. You're about to have a child, and he's going to be a very important child." And Zechariah immediately was surprised, and he said, "Wait a second, I'm old, my wife's pretty old, this isn't going to happen, this isn't going to work." And the angel told him that as a sign that this will happen, you will no longer be able to speak until the birth of your child. And so Zechariah left out of the temple, and he was unable to speak, and he was unable to speak for the next 9 months as Elizabeth carried their child. And, we looked at the story of this amazing interaction between Elizabeth and Mary. Mary comes over to Elizabeth's house because they were relatives, and the baby inside Elizabeth leapt inside her womb, it says. And Elizabeth immediately said, "Mary, I know that there is something good about to happen. You are carrying the Savior of the world." And at the birth story, finally Zechariah is able to speak when his baby is born, when they give him the name John, and he prophesies over his child, and he says that good things are about to happen, that his child, John, will make way for the Savior of the world. What a celebration, and what hope there is when they had lost hope, that God answered them in what they needed. And that same God is the God who's a part of our lives. He knows what you need. He knows what hope and dreams you have in your life. And he wants to give you those things, and he does those when we follow him faithfully. So we ask you this week, is hope on your wish list? Maybe there's things in your life that you've given up hope on, but there is hope because Jesus has come to save the world. And as we're anticipating the birth, as we're building this anticipation of Jesus coming around Christmas time, we also live in the anticipation of knowing that Jesus was born and grew up and died and rose again. And we wait eagerly for his return. Don't miss this anticipation. It is sweet anticipation that something good is about to happen. Is hope on your wish list this year? Hope you can join us this coming Sunday as we ask another question if something else is on your wish list.